In today's episode, we're going to be talking about sleep. I'm going to be covering how to get a good night's sleep. Hi there and welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Rosie Millen, a qualified nutritionist. And on behalf of Expertia Naturals, this is the Longevity Project, a video series where we share expert-guided insight into general wellness, healthcare, and longevity. Now, nothing beats a good night's sleep. And let's face it, we've all been there, lying in bed for hours with no sleep, and it feels awful. Sleep is absolutely paramount for good energy and a positive mood and healthy adrenal glands, but so many people struggle to get a good night's sleep. Now, I'm going to share with you how to get a good night's sleep consistently, so stay tuned, guys, and take notes. First up, here are the rules. The first rule is hours. Now, the hours of sleep you get between 10 o'clock and midnight are the most restorative. And that is because melatonin is produced from the pineal gland at the back of the head during this time. And melatonin is basically our go-to-sleep hormone. It basically gets the body ready to fall asleep. Now, if you go to bed after this window, you are much more likely to wake up feeling tired despite getting plenty of sleep. So the hours of sleep you get matter. The second rule of sleep is routine. Now, a good night's sleep is all about good routine. Going to bed at the same time each night and waking up at the same time every morning allows the body to settle into a rhythm and feel the benefits. The third rule, guys, of sleeping is temperature. Now, keeping the bedroom cool is absolutely essential. And you want to make sure that your ideal temperature is around 68 degrees. The body actually needs to drop its core temperature by 2 to 3 degrees in order to fall asleep and to initiate sleep. The fourth rule is darkness. Now, darkness is really key for melatonin production, and things like phones, screens, and all that blue light that we usually use before we go to bed, that actually tricks the brain into thinking that it's daytime and it shuts off melatonin. So reading on an iPad for 1 hour before bed can actually delay the release of melatonin production by up to 3 hours. So you want to make sure that you're avoiding your screens at least an hour before you go to bed. You want to make sure that you're using blackout blinds or an eye mask. That's really recommended. And really, you want to be putting your phone away 1 hour before you go to bed so that your melatonin has got time to release and tell your body to fall asleep. So here's a little bit of useful information for you. If you wake up between the hours of 3 and 5 a.m., this is often linked to adrenal exhaustion, which is caused by stress. And that basically means that you need to slow down and reduce stress and basically figure out ways to reduce the overwhelm. Now, if you wake up between 1 and 3, this actually indicates that your liver might be struggling. And that means that you need to reduce the coffee, reduce the alcohol, and reduce the fats that you're waking. If your waking has no clear pattern, it might actually be due to your blood sugar levels dropping. So eating a small meal before you go to bed, or a small snack 20 minutes before you go to bed, or keeping a protein smoothie or a protein bar beside your bed can be a really helpful tip for you to use in order to fall back to sleep again. And this is something that I use a lot, and it's very, very effective. So what else can we do to get a good night's sleep? These are my top tips. Caffeine is obviously an obvious one, and it should really be avoided after about 5 p.m. And this includes coffee, tea, chocolate, cola, because they can really keep you awake in the early hours. Alcohol intake should absolutely be reduced in the evening. Although alcohol may initially make you feel sleepy, it often causes waking after about 2 to 3 hours, and that can really disrupt the rest of the night. Try to make sure that you're not eating large meals. These should be avoided at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. If a light snack is needed, it should be combined with a little bit of carbohydrates and a little bit of protein. And a good example of this is like an oat cake with hummus, or a slice of chicken on Revita, or a banana with a handful of nuts. And this helps to stabilize blood sugar levels overnight, and it basically helps you stopping from waking in the middle of the night. And I find bananas particularly helpful because they contain tryptophan, which has a really calming effect. Other foods that are rich in tryptophan that help to produce serotonin and to help relax us are foods like fish, turkey, oats, cottage cheese, beans, avocados, nuts and seeds. Now, one food that you might want to avoid before you go to bed is cheese. Now, cheese it contains proteins that can be quite stimulating. And it can actually trigger nightmares. There's lots of studies to show that it can trigger like a difficult night's sleep. So you might want to go dairy free or just avoid eating cheese before you go to bed. And I find that drinking chamomile tea is really effective for calming the body. And that is because chamomile tea contains L-theanine, which produces GABA, and that's a calming neurotransmitter. So drinking some chamomile tea before you go to bed can be really calming on the body. Other helpful remedies to help you fall asleep are valerian, hops, and passiflower. Now, these are herbs that basically help to enhance sleep patterns, and they really help people to fall asleep faster. One of my favorite supplements to take before you go to bed is magnesium. Now, magnesium is a mineral that really helps to relax the muscles, and it really helps to support our sleep when taken about 20 to 30 minutes before we go to bed. So one of my other favorite nutrients that you can take before you go to bed is the reishi mushroom. Now, the reishi mushroom has been proven to basically reduce sleep latency and improve the overall quality of your sleep. Now, other lifestyle tips you can take, guys, to help you relax before you go to bed is taking a hot bath. This really helps to help to support the nervous system. And doing gentle exercise, like, not something too stimulating, but like yoga and meditation. These can also really help to make you feel calm before you go to bed. And, being sensible about your phone, putting your phone on airplane mode, and replacing your phone for like one of those clocks, and keeping the phone out of the room, that will really help to keep you from scrolling at night. So something I find really effective for falling asleep is making sure that you are not disrupted by noise. And I find that earplugs are really effective for this, especially if you live in a noisy environment, and putting earplugs in can make a noticeable difference. The same thing is to be said for comfortable bedding. Comfortable bedding really matters, and investing in new pillows can significantly improve sleep quality and duration. If you're enjoying this content and would like to stay with us, please give this video a like, share it with someone who might find it useful, and make sure you subscribe to the channel.